If you didn't know, you know now. I'm back. Your boy, Jayswish. Hey, the quarantine edition. Let's go. It is just your boy today, doing his own special version of the show, the Quarantine Thoughts. Your thoughts during quarantine. I'm hitting people up. I'm letting people talk they shit on the airwaves. That's what I'm doing out here today. That's the type of time I'm on for the quarantine, since we ain't got shit else to do. The first person I have the pleasure of talking to is my good old Papito, Papa Doc, my father, the creator of Jayswish, and low-key the creator of the show. One of the co-creators, because you created me. So we made it possible.
One of the first sponsors.
Exactly. If you didn't know, you know now. You're here in the flesh. Now then, and I'm able to say I've had both my parents on the show.
Hello.
You know, some people are not so lucky, but I'm not going to be a downer.
So I'm gonna go ahead and be anonymous. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just be Pops.
You Papito.
Just Pops.
You the creator
Papa
of the creator.
Rocks.
That's it. That's how we do it. Now listen, we've been quarantined now for some time. They said
wait. Before you even get into that, we're gonna get into the fact that I'm feeling like I don't know whether I'm in Scarface, the Lost Boys with this music.
Yo, I'm telling you, when I hear this song, it sounds like you're about to be on a highway doing massive amounts of cocaine.
Well, that was like in the 80s.
That's all I hear when I hear this. I hear
what I'm
like
feeling about the music. I don't know.
The Weeknd.
Back in the day.
That's what the Weeknd do to you. He go from like happiness to sadness to he's gonna kill himself one day. We don't know.
Who's that?
The Weeknd.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He's an artist that he's all over the place, but we love it.
Yeah.
We love it. Did you hear about what he said recently?
I don't know. I've been off his information for a long time.
So he was basically saying how when he heard the song Usher made, Climax, that he felt like it was a song that he could have sung, but it got blown out of proportion, and people basically made it seem like he was saying Climax is his song, and that Usher basically got to it before him. And even Usher he kind of fell into it like, thinking like, this guy is talking about that's his song when it's Usher's song. But it's all dumb, because if you listen to his music, the dude, you know, his sound is so different. I can't say too many people sound like him or he sounds like other people.
Well, I mean, they basically say that the biggest form of flattery is imitation.
Exactly.
I think that, if he would have came off or if that's what he meant, yeah, then it would make sense. But not that you're going to, create a whole different thing with it,
Well, that is the truth. The fact that people get so vexed at the idea that someone's similar to them, it's like, nah, man. Somebody looked up to you, especially if you've been in the industry for so long.
Absolutely.
You gotta think that I'm gonna have somebody's gonna do what I did before.
Well, there's always someone that comes along and obviously copies something. That's why you have samples. And back in the day, a lot of people copied one of the greatest soul singers was what's his name? Guy that used to do all the splits and dancing.
Oh, James Brown.
James Brown, yeah, the godfather of soul.
Yeah, you don't think he was looking around like, oh damn, there's
so many other
dudes out there
copied exactly what he was doing. I mean, think about Michael Jackson.
You could say that Prince and Michael Jackson were variations of James Brown.
You could definitely get that information.
There's a whole lineage. If you look, that's why people got to cut it out.
Yeah.
People got to stop, pointing. Oh no, he's taking my shit. Now, if you just outright thievery, like when Future was getting his sound copied by a designer, and I remember the first time I heard the dude designer sing a song, I was like, is that Future? Mm-hmm. And people was like, nah, that's not Future, that's a whole nother guy. And I was like, wait, but he sounds like, and that's why he's not in the music industry now. You can't just take someone's sound and think you're gonna, that's different. You gotta have actual talent.
If you think about the whole world, you also have the fact that there's another copy of you out there. There's somebody that looks similar to you.
Yeah, that too.
To a certain degree, well, that happens with voices too. That's why you have people that actually imitate other people, and they do a good job. They're not exactly that person, but someone will always remind you of someone.
Yeah, that happens. That comes with.
I mean, that's human nature,
life, right?
Wow.
Now we've been quarantined now for some time. I remember when they said 2 weeks, more than 2 weeks ago, and now we passed that. What have you been doing to cope with the emptiness of time?
Pulling my hair.
Everybody.
I mean, like, just really bored out of my mind. As people, we have to be social with one another. It's what gets us past. Otherwise, you're in prison. I mean, not exactly, because people got offended by that too.
Oh yeah, with Ellen, man.
Yeah, it's just that we're not used to being in that state of mind. We want to be out there. We want to be doing the things that we do, our hobbies. Whether it's in the house or outside of the house. A lot of people go out, ride bike, go out, exercise.
Take me outside. How about that?
So,
yeah, it's you know what it is. I realized too. I took being outside for granted, because you remember before this, I was inside a lot. I mean, I'd only go out to go play basketball or something, and come back. But I think when this shit is over, I need to be out as much as possible. I need to be doing things at all times.
Listen, I'm going to be very happy. The weather is changing. It's been pretty chill the last couple of days going into April, but that's expected. But that warm weather comes in, and you want to breathe. And you can't even breathe.
It's already bad enough. I got the allergies coming in, springtime.
I'm sneezing and all that, and I don't even want to go outside. They're gonna say I got COVID.
Yeah, man. Don't sneeze or yo, look, a cough.
They're gonna drag you off the bus.
Right. You gonna be out there looking crazy.
Right.
As soon as you do a little, don't do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I mean, a lot of people passed away. A lot of people are getting sick, and just self-isolate.
That's the point.
Self-isolate. Don't touch
People
your hands,
are
like
not.
Samuel L. Jackson said, don't touch your motherfucking face.
Yeah, man. Stay the fuck in your house.
Yeah.
It's like each time I go to the store and do simple things, and then I'm back.
Yeah, immediately washing your hands.
And I carry hand sanitizer on my buckle.
Yeah.
And I keep it right there locked in, because every 2 seconds I'm like, nope, I touched something. Hand sanitizer. Whoever created that, they are swimming in money. They like, I told y'all niggas, 99.9.
Yeah, but the best thing is to actually wash your hands. Even if you happen to temporarily use that product, I would definitely suggest more of just washing with soap and water. That's the best thing.
Do you see us getting back to normal, or what was normal, when things are?
Well, I think a lot of people will jump back into that sort of lifestyle that we were definitely living. But I can't say that I would feel that way.
Well, I read a poll. It was polling people, because we all home. So a bunch of people had answered a poll online. They were saying, what would it take for you to go to like a concert or something, or a major event with a bunch of people? And the main thing people agreed on was, if there's a vaccine out there, then they feel more comfortable being able to go out and do things. Which is funny, because you remember this, you got those non-vaccine people that be like, no vaccines, blah blah blah. But now that's what would make people comfortable, is a vaccine.
Well, I don't think that anyone should feel like they would feel comfortable. There's just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, they've talked about this for years going back. So I think this is just a start to what could be possible in our future, and what will continue to set us apart.
Yeah, that's. I don't know, man. The more and more I get older, the more and more I see shit is just unknown.
Yeah, it is. I mean, there's a lot going on in the world that we all just don't know about, and but this opened a lot of people's eyes if they're just open-minded to what could take place. Like, who would have thought that America or any country was shut down that way?
Well, we always try to pride ourselves on being great and the best, but this just goes to show we was not.
Listen,
clearly,
the minute that this became information, America, for me, should have just shut down from the very beginning. It put a lot of us out there.
It was back in like November, December.
Yeah. A lot of people, unfortunately, and that are very important, just like everybody else, have passed away. And I think that, we'll definitely see that outcome once this is passed. And I think it'll always be present.
Yeah, nice. That's pretty good words. Nice positivity right there.
Pretty good.
But one thing I forgot to tell the people that you are very well known for, infamously known for, is how much films and TV shows that you could run through. And if you was already doing that before the quarantine, but now you're like, I feel like you at an all-time high with how much shit you've watched. What's some of the most interesting things you've been watching in the time frame since we've been indoors? Give the people some options.
Yeah, I think I've gone into a lot of independent films, things that
that's a whole nother bag.
Yeah, that'll sort of open your mind. Not.
Hey, that's pretty good.
That's just like the basic movies, whether it's horror, action-packed, and you sort of get bored watching those movies. If you can't walk away and have some sort of topic or something to discuss. So I'd say that things that have me thinking, questioning, those are things that I'm really interested in at this point.
Well, I would say since the quarantine, I've gotten more and more into documentaries. But I told you before, not just any like the weirder documentaries. Because ever since I seen Tiger King, I was like, oh, this is a whole nother rabbit hole to open towards the world that we don't know about. So I just kept going down deeper and deeper holes. So if you just go on YouTube, you could just figure out a whole big list of just shit that is just weird. It's there. Shit is already weird, so I'm like, let's just get weirder.
Well, I think that definitely was interesting. I didn't get to watch it, but born in the 70s, I've come across quite a few characters.
I was about to say, you mentioned Scarface earlier, and he's in there.
And I mean, people are people, and I've come across a lot of them.
Well, yeah, I guess as you get older, that's the one thing you figure out, like, that you can't put nothing past anyone.
Yeah, I mean, I think that everybody was taken back at how those people were, but I've seen that plenty of times before. It's not nothing.
I had to tell my girl about how there was once a dude in Harlem who had a tiger in his house, in his apartment. And they had to fucking climb down NYPD and shoot that fucking tiger inside his apartment because it was big as shit. 600-pound animal.
From what I if we're talking about the same thing, I think the tiger ate him.
No, he got attacked.
Yeah.
But he didn't get eaten. But I remember when they showed the pictures of him, he had straps on his arm.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
he was all bleeding and shit.
You can't be having no tiger living in a one.
That's why they found out. Because once he got attacked, they was like, oh, he had to call somebody. Hey man, get this fucking tiger out of here.
I think he did more than just call somebody. I'd have been screaming. It's like that commercial with the Jaguar.
It's just so. One thing I know for a fact is, like, it didn't make me like want to be around them anymore. I'm like, I knew they were vicious ahead of time. Didn't need the documentary to know that, but they was like, oh, but you got to care about that. I was like, yeah, I care from afar.
Yeah.
I will never go see them shits in person. I will never stand next to one, cuddle one, play pictures.
One thing about that lady that showed up at the Bronx Zoo and got into
and just stood there dancing and shit.
Insane.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't even like. I told a few people, like, I want to do different. I want to go to museums. I want to see art. Like, after this, I want to go back and do the things that as a kid I felt was boring. Because I wasn't learning at that time. I just wanted excitement. And now that I'm older, I'm like, nah, I want to learn. Give me the learning part back. Because that's the most fun when you're finding out something new. That's the best part.
Yeah, but just don't go in the cage.
Oh, see, I ain't messing with no animals.
Exactly.
I need inanimate objects, things that just stay where they stay, and then they stay there for life.
Shit, if you're gonna get attacked by a dog or a cat,
that's already enough.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm terrified of a lot of different dogs, especially big dogs. If they're a big dog, I'm like,
Listen. Unless that's a cat or a dog, birds. I mean, like, I'm not even messing with monkeys. And there are people that
monkeys will rip your face off.
That's what I'm saying.
That's too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, Pops. What is it that you What's the first thing you plan to do once this is all over?
Well, hopefully just get to walk and have a good time walking and enjoying the weather and just getting that fresh of breath.
With or without a face mask?
Hopefully without.
Some people it's like they don't know if they'll go back to without a face mask.
Well, I think we can, but the thing is that it's bigger than any of that. I mean, like, I feel like if it's your time to go, it's gonna happen. I mean, you could definitely.
I felt like that too.
Prevent certain things from taking course, but I mean, this is something that was uncontrollable.
Yeah, that's what's the crazy part.
It wasn't in our hands. It wasn't.
Or is it?
No, it was definitely not something that we had anything to do with. The best thing that we could do is isolate. You know, stay away from one another.
Or is it not a conspiracy that the government was trying to pull one over on us?
Who's to say? You know,
nah. If you go into conspiracy,
like you could pull like mad TV shows, and they'll say, oh, it starts in some place in China or Africa.
I was confused because
like,
I heard bats, and then it wasn't bats. It was some type of snake soup. Then it wasn't snake soup. It was people doing the wrong thing. It was just a lot. And at this point, it was just like, it could just kill you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Don't do anything outside of your house because you can just die. That's how it felt. That's the craziness.
I mean, it's a virus. It gets into your respiratory, whether you're touching something. It's something bigger, and it's something that could have been prevented, but it wasn't. I think that we could have acted on this immediately. You know, we knew, supposedly from what you just said, we knew in November. I think that January was definitely the position of our country to just shut it.
Oh yeah,
down.
by the time we got into the New Year peak, we were supposed to be already on
it. Pull your boots up in this country,
and what happened to that now?
Move it forward.
That shit is dead. Government help.
Yeah,
people ain't pulling shit by no boots.
Hello,
ain't no straps to pull.
Yeah.
Ain't no straps.
It's country.
The fact that they still try to say that, pull yourself up by your bootstrap. Who the fuck? Who got straps on
I
their
don't even know where the fuck that came from. I just always heard it.
Yeah, you hear that, but it's like, who thought of that? Forefathers?
Pull your boots up, and I think it was Western because of all the shit.
That's what I'm saying. Ain't no more straps on the boots, man. Yeah. Look, one last thing I want to ask you before you get up out of here is I want to ask you, when we look back, and I was thinking like when I have your future grandchildren, what would we tell them about this year? Because you know they're probably going to be in the history books like 2020.
Oh no, we're
coronavirus.
We're in history right now as we speak.
Pandemic.
You know? And in all honesty, we shouldn't be pausing to think about going back to work. Yeah, we actually need an additional month or two to really let this be cleaned
That's
up.
what I was thinking.
I mean, like if you think about China and how they came and they were having all these big trucks cleaning the streets, for God's sake.
I've seen that soap in the roads and everything.
In America at all. You know, like where's that? You know, if this
they should have been in the train stations cleaning the shit out them stations.
But they didn't clean those. When was the last time they cleaned New York Transit? For that matter,
I'm the trash man.
Yeah, they talking about shutting it down, making it smaller.
I'm the trash man.
It's not gonna happen. New York is gonna stay dirty. It's gonna stay dirty. But I'm thinking when I tell my kids this story, I'm gonna exaggerate.
Yeah.
Did you know what happened? 2020, nigga. You know first of all, we got past 2000. Did you hear about 2000? I'm like, damn. He got past the. Remember they thought 2000 we was going. 2012.
Yeah.
We could say all that.
To go back to what you were saying too earlier is like they putting all this new technology, televisions or monitors into the subway station. What about fucking just cleaning the subway?
Oh yeah, that was the first thing I asked you. I said,
like,
how much you think they spent on that monitor?
On the platform of the train and it smelled like shit and piss.
Oh, plus the rats.
I done walked into a train
plus
and
the
there's been
Takashis.
shit, and I've stepped into the shit in the train and back. That's crazy. But they're gonna raise money on you.
Can't even get started on how terrible.
Well, I mean, everything is terrible.
Terrible the MTA is.
You know, it's It's ridiculous.
fucking
out there.
suck. But look, Pops, I appreciate you taking the time
Of course,
to be a
man.
part of the show, man.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I did show up in some.
Well, yeah,
video
you got
segments.
you was piece by piece in there. You know, some little moments in there where you would pop up even on camera, and I'd be like, all right, there go Pops, there go Papito.
Even
And people
making
been paying
some
attention.
burgers.
Yeah, you was sizzling. One time, if y'all don't know, it was a pod. I think it was like probably like the 17th, 18th pod we did, and Pops was cooking for like a good hour into that pod,
Yeah,
and you could hear all the
Everything
sizzle
came out
pops.
delicious, though.
Yeah, we ate and fell asleep right after that show.
Yeah, immediately.
Yeah, man, it was a crazy time.
Yeah, all right. So
All
we
right,
did this,
Papito.
bro.
Yeah, man, you the first of many to be a part of.
Well, let's go ahead and
the
get
quarantine
invite
thoughts.
again, and I'll be back.
Yeah, man. Especially when things go back to normal, we can have a normal show and also do something bigger because we got so much to talk about. We got movies, television, politics, the world,
Definitely.
community, conspiracy, aliens. We got it all.
All right.
Love you, man.
Love you too, brother.
All right. That was Papito. That was cool. Glad to have the Pops on. Now to keep the show rolling, I gotta get somebody else in here. No, we on that type of time. Let's see what's the vibes. Let's see what we get in here. Let's see what we could call. Hold on. Gotta get the theatrics involved. Hold on, I gotta get the theatrics in here. Hold on. Let me see if I get it louder. Well, my shit acted down. Let me get my shit right. Yo, Wave. Ear. What's going on, man?
20 of them things.
I knew you was gonna start with that. What's going on, brother?
What's good, bro? How you?
I'm good, man. You know, it's been a little minute.
You know. Come on, we was gonna connect one day.
Yeah, man. I guess the quarantine had to happen, bro.
Yeah, man. This quarantine shit is crazy, bro.
Look, tell me
This
what.
shit got me looking at my cats funny, man. This shit is ridiculous, bro. But it is what it is, man.
Look, tell me what you've been doing in the crib in the last fucking however long we've been inside.
Working, man. It got me working from home.
Were you
I
on
just been losing my mind, bro.
Will you be on the computer?
Yeah, bro. Losing it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm losing it as well. This shit is getting boring.
Nigga, who you telling?
Yo, bro,
This shit
it's
is
funny
crazy, bro.
because majority of the time I liked being indoors, but after this shit, I'm like, nah, I got to be out all the time now.
But you know the crazy thing is, bro, some people really need outside, bro. Because, like, I've been heavy on social media, and then you just start to find out who's really weird. Like,
Yo, that is the truth.
it's a lot of weirdos. Like, you really look at a person like, oh, he was cool, we was free, but when we inside, it's like, damn, yo.
You know what's funny? I thought about that post that I forgot who put it up, but they was talking about they was gonna eat shrimp and grits, and niggas was shitting on shrimp and grits.
Oh.
I'm like,
You know
come
what's
on
crazy,
now.
too? Somebody on that post said, oh, that's slave food. I said, come on, man.
Yeah, I peeped that.
Yeah.
Like slave food, shrimp and grits.
Yeah. Like, y'all losing it. That's Southern hospitality.
Yeah, you could just tell sometimes people want to be down too much, man.
Yeah, the NASA was eating shrimp and grits, man. You crazy?
Yeah, like people don't know their history, man. They don't know what they doing.
Come on, man. We know.
Facts. Look, I'm glad that I was able to have you on this episode anyway, but I feel like we do gotta have you in person when this shit is all said and done.
Oh, yeah, of course.
We know we was talking about that in the past already.
Yeah, that's a fact.
You know what it was?
That's a fact, bro.
We never got out that
Yeah.
legendary Wildin' Out episode in college.
Oh, yo, that was mad long ago, son.
Yo, for real, I still think back how I didn't participate and I was mad at myself.
See? You gotta take a chance. That's what I was doing, bro. Like, be somewhere different. You gotta take a chance, bro. I'm already that kind of guy that's outgoing. People would say, like, not scared to try shit, bro. Like,
Now that's a fact. That's one thing that I remember from meeting you firsthand how like that you were very genuine and like it didn't feel like you was forcing your personality on the other people. It was just like, yo, this dude is cool.
I appreciate that, bro. You gotta be real, man. This shit. She's faking for what? Like,
bro, you seen even.
I don't know, man.
What gets me now is after us getting out of school, you get to see who really fucked with you and who didn't.
Right.
Because there's still like
Right.
I thought about how a lot of people said we formed brotherhoods in that school, but it's not too many people I still communicate with on a day-to-day or even on a like a what up, how you been, nothing.
Right. But you know, at the end of the day, what I see from that college experience, like when people leave, it's like everybody's still in their groups, you know.
Right.
Like I still, you know me, I'm still with the legends. We talk every single day.
The
bro.
whole Legends crew?
Like, of course, Mo Black, Noob, Dab, Jay, Johnson.
Them niggas is all hilarious.
Yeah, those my guys, man.
Those are all-
We in the building.
Yeah, those are all good people.
And we link up every time, bro. But sometimes if I'm working this shit, I'm not gonna go. But we talk every single day. The person I link up with most is Mo Black. Mo Black live in the Bronx. Everybody else live in Queens and shit. So,
Yeah, nigga, I'm all the way in Jersey City.
Nigga, I didn't even know you was out the Bronx. Wow, congrats.
We're up and out the nigga ever since I got out of school, I've been living in Jersey the whole time.
Nice. How you like it out there?
I hate it. It's not New
know,
York, my
Jersey
nigga. These
stinks.
niggas is weird, bro.
Yeah, you know Jersey stinks, right?
Bro, no funny shit. They really do. Even with the face mask
And
on.
Jersey smells bad. Like you know that highway where you driving past MetLife Stadium?
Oh yeah, bro. It smell like shit.
It always stink over there.
It always smell like shit over there. You be like, yo, why does this whole highway stink? And it's next to a stadium.
New Jersey stink, man.
I don't understand, bro. And honestly, the people are so weird. I be feeling like, yo, I just got to get back to New York, son.
Right. I mean, just you got to build out there, bro. You already know.
The only cool shit
now-
is the land.
Uh-huh.
Having like a house is cool,
Yeah.
but the people and the food and the air, everything is just nasty to me.
Okay.
I think I'm too New York
Yo.
for this shit.
Yo, let me ask you a question.
What's up?
You still be hooping?
Bro, I hoop every week.
Damn.
Yo, the only person I hooped with since we've been out of school was MJ.
Word?
I bumped into MJ at Brooklyn Bridge Park multiple times and we
Oh,
bowled
yeah.
out.
My son Mo Black said he ran into MJ out there. MJ, y'all ain't gonna find MJ was nice.
Nah, bro, he still got it.
Nice.
He still got it. Honestly, him and Nick made my game way better.
Right.
I respect them niggas,
Nah,
man. They
Nick was
came
nice,
in
too.
young and energized and ready. He's like, y'all niggas is built for this. I was
Bro,
like,
that
God.
whole experience, bro, like, even if I didn't even get to play like that shit was like,
Yeah,
that shit was
I
easy,
wouldn't
bro.
change how hard I had to work to be a part of that unit. I wouldn't have changed that shit. Because it's like, I came into the school from high school, I was averaging 18, 5, and 5. I thought I was the man. And when I
Right.
came to Clinton, coach, he humbled me. He was like, listen, like, first he told me he didn't think I could shoot. And I had to prove that I could shoot. And he told me, look, I think you could be a defender. Like, you could go out there and defend people and that's it. And I was like, nah, I'm going to show you that I could play ball. And I had to work extra hard to get those minutes. So even though I had to do that, at first I hated it. But afterwards, I was like, you know what? It was worth it.
Yeah, bro, like, I probably played 2 games.
Bro, we
So
fought
me,
for
but-
you to play so many times, bro. Niggas wanted you on the court.
Son. I know, bro, but like you said, that humbled me too, bro. Like, nigga, we in pickup games. I'm killing in the pickup, 3-on-3, 4-on-4, 5-on-5, doing my thing. You get to that level, even if it's JUCO, D3 JUCO, whatever, bro. Like, nothing ever stops on that court, bro. You gonna have
Facts.
time to stop and for me, everybody's running, and that's where I was like, God, hey.
You gotta remember too.
Huh?
Look, they say a lot of times that the pickup game don't translate that well, but it was like, bro, the shit we was seeing, it was like, now you could do that same thing in a regular game, bro, and get to the line over and over.
don't get me wrong. It was times where not even times. It was all the times I was sitting on a bench and I'm like, yo, I will cook him. I will kill him.
Trust,
Mike remember tall Mike with the long hair?
Yeah.
He was getting baked by them. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, we was like, yo, we was always talking shit on that bench. That's all that bench was for. And we just looking at each other like, yo, boy, let me get in that game. We wild out one time.
That shit, man. I used to try to sit next to the coach.
Yo, niggas tried so many tactics. You got to take the towel off your head and really look at him, clap your hands, get excited for plays you're not even involved in. It's like, all right. Nigga, you got to remember, I spent 2 years taking charges. Like, that was never a part of my game.
Right,
when that nigga said that shit at the senior year, talking about, he led the team in taking charges, I was like, fuck it. That was my niche.
Right. Remember when, coach said something like, if anybody get in charge, he gonna get us pizza or some shit.
Right.
Yeah, you took that charge. Everybody was like, yeah,
bro, that's what it be, those little moments. That shit mattered. I was like, you know what? I gotta get this charge for us, boy. I remember nigga busted my lip when we was playing Mohawk Valley.
Yeah.
That shit blew minds. I had to take that charge. And it was a close ass game too. We went to overtime.
Mm-hmm.
That shit was crazy.
I'm telling you, bro. Those are the days, man, that, niggas will never forget, bro. Like,
that is a fact. I always think about those games, bro. I remember all them shits vividly.
Hell yeah. Fun traveling, seeing different players, different people.
Yeah, the best part was traveling, huh? We used to be having fun in the fucking vans.
Remember that season niggas was winning?
Niggas got the bus?
Oh, man.
Oh, we was living it up.
Oh, man.
Let's be real, though. Every time Coach gave us money, I saved all that shit and bought mad smoke. I'd be like, damn, I ain't got no bread. I'ma just starve for 6 hours.
He was giving us like 7 cash.
I had to say that shit, boy. I was like, yo, this is gonna add up.
$7.
Niggas started fighting for 20. Now we supposed to get 20.
Yeah, like
we was feeling D1 in there, nigga. We was like, give us the money.
We was like, Coach, you can't get nothing out of Burger King with $7. They ain't even had the deal yet.
Right. Remember when niggas was like, yo, we need shooting shirts. We need warm-ups.
Yeah.
That shit was funny. Niggas had to sell tickets.
Right. Who sold tickets?
Didn't they give us the little flyer, them little, I forgot them little ticket shits they gave us, bro. Niggas wasn't selling them shits.
Yeah, I ain't selling them.
I ain't sell no tickets, but I came back to coach like, boy. My mom tried her best. She was like, I got like 5 for you. I was like, yo, coach, I got 5. That's it.
All right, give it to me.
You know, he just took that shit. He probably pocketed it.
Yo, what's up with Lil Brian?
Yo, it's funny. I just spoke to him the other day through a video chat. This nigga look old and young at the same time.
What?
He got kids, man. I don't know, man. I watched him have kids, and I was like, we might have to wait on that one.
Yeah, word. Fuck all that. We living it up right now, man.
You still with the same chick from college?
Come on, man. You know the vibes.
How long y'all been rocking?
Shit, like since like 2011, 2012.
All right. Y'all the originals.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, me and
High
Hazel,
school
that's what matters, yo, bro. The fact that I think about it, like, to be able to hold on to your girl from high school and still have that connection and still have, like, inside jokes from 9-10 years ago, that shit is crazy.
Right, and it's like, it ain't easy, though, for me.
Oh, people, I always tell people it ain't easy.
Right, I ain't gonna say it was perfect, like,
right,
you know, but these niggas rocking out.
Yeah, people want to play the fairy tale role. Listen, I tell people that shit is hard. You want to be with somebody that long, you're gonna have to go through a lot of shit, embrace it, and just and still be able to do you.
That's a fact.
That's the main part that matters. Like, as long as niggas ain't always up under each other and you don't have to change who you are for somebody all the time, because you'll change little shit, the shit that's important, but as long as you can still be the person you was when they first met you, that's cool.
Yo, bro, you remember that time? I don't know who you was arguing with in the hallway, bro, but you was fucking banging the door. You don't remember that?
Bro, you know how many moments I had bugging out in them dorms?
Nah, you was screaming, bro, like, I don't give a fuck.
I'm trying to remember. I was banging on the door.
Yo,
Was I on the
bro,
second floor or the third floor?
It was the second floor, bro. Oh my god.
Was Brian still in the school at the time?
Shit. I'm not sure. I don't know. I think so.
Because if it could have been him, because I remember that time he poked me in the eye, and I was bugging out on the second floor.
I don't know. Because I know Charlene was in the hallway.
Oh, if she was in the hallway, then I know exactly what day you talking about.
Yeah, he was like, I don't give a fuck. Yo,
Yeah, that.
I was in. Because at first, I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like, everybody poked their heads out the window. We just see you swinging the door, yo. But I tell you, I started dying, bro. Like, oh, man.
The funniest shit was the fact that I didn't get kicked out for that shit or like in trouble at all.
And you was the RA.
Right. The funny shit, they had a meeting with me. They was like, listen, we know you the RA, you got pulled, you know, you're a good guy and all that, but like, you gotta relax. You gotta calm down. And I was just like, I was like, all right, I'm gonna calm down. I ain't never really calmed down.
That shit was
You know what was funny, nigga? Remember that time we wanted to play Manhunt and the paramedics came?
Oh, yo, that was the best manhunt.
Yo, they tried to cancel me for that shit.
Oh, for the manhunt shit?
Yeah, they was like, oh, he was being irresponsible.
That was the paramedics. That was the cops.
Yeah, but they was mad at me for continuing the game. I'm like, yo, that was the best thing to do.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. That probably was the best manhunt I ever played in my life, bro.
Bro, I was hiding in a tree.
Bro,
was
the fact that I was getting caught first made my whole life.
yeah, yo, I'm telling you, the bigger the game, you know what I mean, the better your stakes are.
Yo, bro, everybody had like ridiculous hiding spots, bro. Like, first of all, Brian couldn't get caught.
Bro,
Brian was doing backflips, bro.
He was looking like he did gymnastics.
Word, and we was looking for you and Mike. Shout out to Mike. We was looking for Mike. And you and Mike, y'all in the tree. We like, nah, where these niggas at?
It's funny, I'm about to call Mike next too. He the next person that's jumping on here.
Right. Tell Mike I said what up.
You know I'm gonna definitely let him know. Yo, that was the funniest shit. Cause he seen me in the tree first. And he goes, yo, that's a hell of a good spot. I'm like, yo, Mike, if you could get up here, we could chill. Just, you know, don't make no noise. That nigga climbed that shit easily.
The crazy shit, though, was it was raccoons and skunks walking around and all that shit.
We didn't give
bro.
no fucks about none of that.
Yo, bro, I forgot who was laying on the floor, bro. Like, somebody was laying in the grass. Couldn't see him. I forgot his name. Laying in the grass, bro. A skunk walked right past his face, bro. Like,
wow.
If he would have moved, he'd have got sprayed right in the mouth.
I'm not gonna lie, them skunks was. That's when I got. Yo, that's what I meant to tell you. Now that I'm in Jersey, I'm right back with them niggas, man. Raccoons,
oh, man.
Fucking skunks, even a chicken.
You know, we got a chicken.
Nigga, a chicken was crossing the road the other day, nigga. I was like, oh, word? I ain't never actually seen that happen.
No pun intended.
Dead ass. I was like, and weirdly enough, it took a hell of a long time for it to do it. Chickens don't really cross the road, bro.
Yo, bro, that was the best man I ever played in my life, bro.
Yeah, that shit is definitely in the memory books. The only other one I had above that was my senior year in high school, and I broke my finger because I ran into a tree.
Like, always doing some crazy shit.
I didn't see the tree though, man. It was dark.
Yo, bro, you still a Knicks fan?
Yeah, I'm still representing.
I'm sorry to hear that, bro.
Yeah, it's a sad time, but you know I also follow Melo wherever Melo go.
I mean, I feel you. Oh, so you rocking with Portland?
Yeah, because I feel like you gotta have your East Coast and the West Coast.
I hear you.
That's my rule.
I never heard this from you when we was up top. So this is new to me. I bet.
Nah, even when we was in college, but I didn't tell niggas. That's the difference. I just be like, nah, everybody need to know I rep New York.
Right.
Cause niggas always trying to shit on the Knicks, man. And Melo was there at the time, so I was able to say strictly the Knicks.
Right, yo. I know when they canceled NBA, you was like, yes.
Yo, bro, I was so fucking tired of watching the Knicks, my nigga. Them niggas is a disgrace.
Bro, I went to a game before this shit ended, bro. I went to go see John Morant. Yo, bro, I'm like, yo, who are these niggas on the Knicks, bro?
That's why
I ain't know nobody except for my man. What's my man name? He's got a funny hair. Payton. Alfred Payton.
Yeah, Alfred Payton. But even him, he fell off, man.
Nah, he nice, bro.
Now he's nice, bro, but he's not
team.
nice with us. He need to go somewhere else and be better.
But the niggas is trash. You got Randall thinking he Klay Thompson.
Bro, that nigga think he's so many different people. Every time I watch a game, I'm like, why did we put our trust in this man?
Yeah, he's trash to me. He's not trash, but he can't lead a team.
Yeah, he
RJ
better
Barrett, I
off
hate
somewhere
RJ
else.
Barrett.
You don't fuck with RJ. Yo, bro, honestly, he could be a good player,
bro.
though.
Nah, bro. You know, I bleed blue. Blue Devils. Yo, bro. He cost the Blue Devils the chip, bro.
Bro, you know them niggas don't give a fuck.
Nah, bro. He thought he was projected number 1.
That's what I'm saying. Them niggas was focused on the draft, man.
Nah, bro. Bro, they could have won the whole thing, bro. This nigga took that dumb shot, bro. Coach K and RJ Barrett are clowns. Because Coach K drew that up. I know he drew that up. You know RJ Barrett ain't got a 3-point like that. Why the last play gonna be a jump shot? And you gonna have him take it?
They fucked up, bro. They was a good fast break, run and gun team, but like in crunch time, they showed their true colors.
Man, fuck them. Fuck them.
Listen, bro, we got to do this again soon,
Yeah,
very
bro.
soon, especially if this shit ends sooner than expect. I mean, nah, I don't even know then. We don't know nothing.
We don't know, yeah, like, shit.
But when shit does get to another point in time, and even if it doesn't, bro, we definitely just got to link up and do another one of these, bro. We got plenty of things to talk about, bro.
Fuck it, risk it all, right?
You know that the quarantine rules for black people, you only go with the people you trust.
Yeah, that's a fact.
I
bro.
see niggas, they be like, nah, I ain't go out, but like I seen a few people. Like, what?
Yeah.
Plus-
I also want to talk to you about this whole podcast thing. Like, see how you got it started. Stuff. I've been tuning in.
I appreciate that.
I've been tuning in. You feel me? So I want to talk to you about it, like how it get established and all that.
Yo, bro, I'm not gonna lie. It's not as hard. The main thing is just being able to. But bro, you're good. I already know you. You have your own type of thing you can do. So I already know. Once you just have the technical shit out the way, it's just about recording after that.
Okay.
But we definitely gonna talk more.
Right. Yo, one more thing. Right?
What's up?
All right. So boom. In the crib, right?
Right.
Let's say you in Brian crib, right? Matter of fact, let's say you in, because Mike coming on next.
Yeah.
Let's say you in Mike crib. You fuck with Mike. Y'all in the crib, y'all chilling, y'all playing 2K, eating pizza, playing with his dog or whatever. So you go, yo, Mike, can I get something to drink? And he goes, yeah, man, just go in the fridge. You open the fridge. It's human heads stacked on the shelves. On each side. Human heads, every race, white, black, Indian, everybody. Human heads, boom. And in between, on the first shelf, in between 2 human heads, it's a carton of lemonade. What are you doing?
Well, you know what? If I'm seeing heads, you gotta suspect the nigga's a fucking full-on murderer. And then the fact that he's telling you to open the fridge, I don't like. I might have to find a weapon immediately. I might have to kill Mike, man. Immediately.
All right. You said that. Boom. So you grab the juice and you close the door. You turn around. Mike is standing right there. And he goes, "Is there a problem, land boy?" What do you do next?
Damn, Mike is tall too, man. I might, low key, I'm gonna have to play it like how in the movies niggas be like, nah, everything cool, bro. It's cool. I fuck with you. It's cool. Nah, it's cool, bro. Like, but yo, you know what? Low key, I do gotta get up out of here. Gotta hit him with the yard. I do gotta go though. Like, you want to do another game and then we leave? Like, you gotta ask a nigga, like, you trying to play one more? I would definitely lose that game too. I wouldn't even win that game. I'm like, you know what? You take the win in 2K. I'm out though. I holla at you.
You can't beat him. You might be the next one.
All right, that might be the last few niggas that won them games.
Put your little peanut the head right in the show.
Like I said, and label that shit 20 cash.
20 cash, the legend. My boy.
Yo, listen, brother, I appreciate you being on here, man. I'm gonna drop this shit tonight too, man.
I bet. Tag me in it, bro.
Yeah, I got you, bro. You know I'm gonna make some snippets and shit. I got you.
You're ready, bro. Hit me, bro. You're ready.
It's all love, Wave. Thank you, man.
You're ready, man. Love you, bro. All day, man. 20 cash.
20 cat. Yo.
Uh-huh.
I holla at you.
You're ready, bro.
Yeah, that was nice. That was cool. That's my brother Wavy from college. Good man. Good vibes. Next, I gotta hit my man Mike, especially after that one. Let's hit Mike up. Let's see what he up to. I officially got the greatest boss ever. The man, the myth, Michael Busby.
What's up, what's up, what's up?
You're in here.
I'm in here.
Had to give you your applause.
I don't get much applause these days. You know how it goes.
Yeah, it's tough, man. You're officially a guest on the show. You've been a listener, a fan, and now you are a guest.
Woo. Started from the bottom, now we're here.
Yeah, you're climbing the ranks, man.
I'm doing my best here. I'm doing my best. Gotta give support where support is due.
Yes, man. And you know what's crazy? It's so hard to get it for some reason. Like, I've realized since I've started the show, I've had plenty of friends that they see my post, they see me post a meme and they'll like it, share it, and if I post a show, it's like, okay, don't want to support that.
That's the best part. That's what we do this for.
Yeah, because I figured, look, I had plenty of meaningful conversations that weren't recorded, so why not give these same entertaining conversations to other people?
I remember having plenty of those conversations with you.
All the time, man. That's why I said you was the greatest.
Yo, I don't know about the greatest, but I appreciate your humble opinion of me.
Listen, for people that might not know, our relationship started when I became an RA and you were an RD in the same school that I was in.
Yes,
and also the coach, or at the time the assistant coach to Hazel.
I was the assistant coach. I forgive her. Please forgive the head coach for all his mistakes during the time that she was trying to play for us.
Yeah, listen, I pushed her so much at the time just to be a part of it, because I told her, if you're there, then I trust the system. And we didn't even know how broken it was.
Oh, I didn't know how broken it was, but I wish I would have had one more year with her. I wish she would have stayed for that next one, because that was when I took over.
Listen, honestly, when we was in school, the whole time I kept saying, why is this a 2-year? Why can't this be a 4-year college?
I know.
I wanted to stay there longer, man.
Those were the good old days, man.
Yeah, even when me and Wavy was talking about a few minutes back, we was mentioning all the good stories we had just being a part of the team and being in the school. Like, those are memories that'll never be lost from us.
Never.
One thing he mentioned, though, was the fact that, one, he said, what up? He said, before I start anything, make sure I tell you that he said what up. That's one.
The legend.
And yeah, exactly. And the next thing was the fact that he mentioned our infamous manhunt game.
Oh my God.
Where me and you was in the tree.
Bring this up. I can't believe you're gonna bring this up.
Yo, once he mentioned it, I was like, we got to get Mike on for the next one, because he has also his own take. Wavy said it was the greatest manhunt game he's ever played in his life.
It was up there.
And guess why he mentioned that it was the greatest?
Would that be because that I hid in the tree and got the police called on me?
Well, I mean, that could be a part of it. But one other major thing was Wavy didn't get caught first. And for people that know, Wavy is a bigger individual. He's a hefty man. And for him to not be in the first line of fire of people that got caught, he was pleased with that.
Yeah, that was pretty spectacular.
Listen.
Normally, he was one of the first people caught, and he hated his life.
Right. He was like, I don't want to play.
Spectacular game.
But for that game,
where is Wavy? I don't know.
Yeah, he said it was too many legendary hiding spots for you to get caught.
He was there for a hot minute.
Listen, I hid in a tree and I hid under a parked car. Those were my spots. That's where the action was.
Oh yeah, the bed of the maintenance truck. I remember that one used to be a hotbed too.
Yeah, man, because you know it ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, and nobody would look in the back of it.
They like, hey, man, that truck's been sitting there. Ain't nobody go near it.
You
Listen,
would just ignore that kind of stuff.
let me ask you, how have you been coping with the quarantine, man?
Oof, we've been trying to make it through. Luckily, I'm assistant coach now at SUNY Potsdam, so my job never stops.
Hey, shout outs to
all
SUNY
day,
Potsdam.
Damn, son, you just hit with a wow effect.
Congrats, man.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, you know, I seen the news head on early on. I was like, oh, there we go. Mike moving up in the world.
Trying to, man. Trying to move up, earn my wings here.
Yeah, man, I'm waiting for you to be that head coach.
Maybe one day. We're paying our dues first.
Listen, the funny thing was, right? My father told me growing up that if I wasn't able to make it to the NBA, he was like, hey, why don't you ever think about like coaching or being a referee? And as a child, I felt that was so disrespectful. I was like, how could you do that to my dreams? A coach? A ref? I'm like, that sucks. But as I get older, I'm like, those are great jobs.
Yeah, now that you look at it, you're like, wow, those are pretty good looking ways to go about my life right now.
You know how much knowledge you could give back to the game in either one of those positions?
Exactly.
And plenty of times I've had refs try to give me pointers on my game as we're playing. And I'm like, why? You know, but it's like this guy was probably elite at some point in time in his life.
That's no joke, man. I cannot tell you how many referees and officials I have met throughout I'll be going to my 8th year of coaching now, that I have met that are D1 caliber players that play, scholarship level players that just want to stick with the game, so they referee.
Yeah, and I feel that, honestly. You know what? That reminds me of another thing. Let me ask you, because Wavy asked me, are you still bowling?
I am balling when I can. I play with a different group of ballers now. I play with a little bit of the older crowd. Now that I'm up there in age, my joints don't move the way that they used to. But yes, I do still play quite often.
So, how many times in a week would you say you was partaking in the game of basketball?
Well, before they shut all the gyms down
right.
the quarantine, I was playing twice a week.
All right, so that's better than me. I would try to reach for twice a week, but I made sure at least once in the week I would get a good amount, like at least a good 4 or 5 hours of basketball.
Yes.
But it is different now.
It is. It's very different.
You know what messes me up the most?
What messes you up most?
The fact that in pickup games now, it's all about the 3-pointers.
Oh, God. Yes.
Everyone.
Even the tall people like me, they only want to stand out there and shoot 3.
I do more post-ups than the normal 6'6" individual would.
And you being not of the 6-foot stature, that's impressive.
I mean, it's one thing. I looked up to Melo for a long time.
Oh, that's your guy, yeah.
That's my guy, but I always try to emulate his game in a guard form, and I mean it works out for me, but my body be like, "What are you doing? You are not big enough for this."
This is not working.
The funny thing is, look, between me and my 2 older brothers, right? My brothers are anything between 1 inch or 2 to 3 inches taller than me, so the tallest would be 5'9". And when we play pickup together, they make me do all the rebounding.
Because you got pogos in your legs, man. That's what it is.
But you know what? It gets tiring. I get it.
Now it does, yeah.
I get it. I understand how hard it is to be that rebound guy.
Yeah. It's not easy, man. It's not for everybody.
So I get it. You being taller, they look at you like, hey, you're a big man. I know you be sometimes like, hey, I could be a guard.
I'm telling you, that's why Kawhi says board man gets paid.
Hey, and I respect it. It is the truth. If you're gonna go out there and chase some rebounds, you got it. You're gonna have the ball in your hands, right? That's what you want.
Yeah.
You make a decision right after that, whether you want to dribble, kick it out. It's all on you.
Or give it to somebody who can dribble better than you.
Right.
That was my role.
Listen,
I always give it to somebody who could dribble better than me.
The
That's why I
funny
gave
thing
you the
was,
ball
right?
so much.
I've been having some arguments with Brian, and you remember Brian, my fake,
I remember
fake
Brian.
cousin.
Come on. Oh yeah.
So he's been telling me how he basically thinks he was the better shooter, the better point guard, the better overall player. And the one thing that I was being honest with him was that I'm not a point guard. I'm short, and people expect me to play point guard, but my game was more towards a shooting guard level.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like, if anything, I could have been like an Allen Iverson type of guy.
You're a 2, for sure.
Yeah, you could put me out there. I'm going to get at least, the right assist, 5'6". But if you expect me to go out there and just start looking for people, I'm like, I'm a little more selfish than that.
A little bit.
You remember we had some games where you look at me sometimes like, hey, man, you ain't see me on that cut? And I'm like, psst, but I had that 3. Like, I could beat this guy one-on-one, so I'm like, I could do this. Believe in me.
Hey, as long as it went in, I was okay.
And that's
but if you missed, I had something to say.
That's the most unwritten rule in basketball. People always will not say it, but it's the truth. Somebody could do something crazy, but if it goes in, you'll accept it. You'll always accept it. But you won't want it to keep happening.
See, it's only crazy if it doesn't work.
Right. The minute you see something that you're like, all right, this guy doesn't deserve the ball, you got to ice him out.
Yeah. That's when we find somebody different to pick up the next time.
You look for the common guy. Like, all right, listen, me and you know each other. We're going to pass each other the ball.
Exactly.
Listen, man, what about life without sports, man? Do you think the NBA is coming back?
Oof, that's a tough one. I do not foresee the NBA coming back this season, which is sad to say.
Indeed. And weirdly enough, I did see the Lakers winning that championship.
I'm not sure, man. I am a favorite for the Lakers. I do like their game, especially with Bron playing the way that he has been playing this year. I mean, with a young AD and
was he
everybody
your
they've got on the
MVP?
roster, they are tough. Oh, Bron is my MVP. Absolutely.
I agree.
I've always said that the MVP is if you take them off that team, how successful is that team?
This is what I was thinking.
And
You have to ask people at that time, what is your definition of an MVP?
Exactly.
Like, someone asked me the other day, they was like, oh, how many superstars do you think there's in the NBA? And I was like, superstars? Probably 10.
Oh, yeah.
And they looked at me like I was crazy. Like, oh, there's more. No, you got to differentiate whether that person is an all-star or a superstar.
Yes. That's different.
Superstar
Very different.
means I take you off that team, and that team is garbage now.
Yup.
They can't do anything without you. Like Giannis, if Giannis wasn't there in Milwaukee, we wouldn't even talk about Milwaukee.
No. We would be like, where's Milwaukee?
Yeah, like, what is that? I honestly, if I looked at the map, I probably can't point it out.
I honestly don't know.
I was thinking about it like, shit, where is it?
Can you even tell me what state that's in?
I think Wisconsin?
Wisconsin?
No, that's on the other side,
I
right?
didn't know that was a state. I didn't even know that was a
Look,
state.
look. I'm getting confused already.
See? This is what happens when we get in our older age. Now.
Right? Yeah. Honestly, school work looks dangerous right now.
Oh, I tell you, it is. From personal experience, I'm taking grad classes right now, and it's rough.
Listen, I got 1 year left, right? Before I stopped going to school, I was in my junior year, or my junior credits, and then I decided to come back home and try to do some saving grace with my family because I missed being home. But now being home for the last 5 years, I've realized, like, I want to go back to school, but, like, school looks crazy to me right now.
It's tough to go back, man. I mean, I did it after, 6 years?
That's what I'm thinking, though.
And then went back to grad school.
I got maybe, a year and a half left just to get my degree. Why not?
Oh, yeah, you definitely have to.
Because I can't let that sit there and be a thought for the rest of my life. Like, damn, I could have just did that year and a half.
Exactly.
I think that's what quarantine did to me, man.
And I told you that when you left, didn't I?
Bazinga.
That is the truth. Because
What did I tell you? What
I
did
had a
tell you
lot
when you
of
left?
uncertainty when I was leaving, and you was giving me keys to success. Like, hey, man, if you're going to do this, then it's going to be hard. It's going to be tough.
I told you, no matter what you do, you finish that education.
Yeah, it's the most important thing. And that's all that matters. I always think about the fact that when I have kids, I don't want to tell them, oh, I could have, or like I had an opportunity but didn't take it. It's like, nah, man. I want them to see that I want them to see me as a role model.
Absolutely.
That's the truth. But I don't want to veer too far off the path. I did want to know, who did you have winning the NBA Finals?
Honestly, being the fan of this team that I am, I had the Clippers going all the way.
Now listen, I have some trouble dealing with the Clippers because I felt like they didn't need Paul George.
Really?
I don't like his game. I don't look at him as a nice connection with Kawhi Leonard. It doesn't make sense to me in my brain. How many games have you seen Paul George and Kawhi play together?
Oh, maybe a handful.
Yeah, and when they do, they don't really look cohesive.
Well, they've only played 5 games together.
That's why. But I'm like, are you going to play these guys? You're going to load management every other game? Like, it just seems
and that's
like...
what I think you were going to see in the next part of this, after the All-Star break. You were going to start seeing Kawhi and Paul play a lot more together, especially with the surrounding and the supporting cast that they have. I mean, they were going on the right path to getting into a nice groove and playing good basketball at the right time. And that's what their coach does. I mean, Doc Rivers is one of the best.
I do respect Doc Rivers because one thing I didn't tell people in the past, but when I really got into basketball, the first year I took basketball serious in my life, I was watching the 2008 Celtics. And to watch that team will their way to a championship the way that they did, I fell in love with the game.
I mean, the big three are always fun to watch, man.
You know, it's another thing I did want to ask you, because I've been having some hot and heavy debates with Brian and another friend of mine from high school. His name is Jose, right?
I think I've seen a couple of these on Facebook.
Yeah, I was gonna say we actually got into a full debate in the comments because, well, Brian was trying to say Dirk wasn't a top 5 power forward, which is ridiculous. That's ridiculous to say.
I think Brian might be smoking a little bit of that devil's lettuce.
Yeah, he's definitely on it. He's there. And the thing was, me and my other friend Jose, we were in agreement that Dirk is top 5, but we had a problem with agreeing his placement in that top 5 because he kept trying to say that Dirk is better than Kevin Garnett, and I think he was only looking at numbers.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, Kevin Garnett was just, I mean, he's tough. Not just for his playing, but everything that he did for the game of basketball. I mean, his attitude on the court was something that, you know, people from all over the world would recognize. Whereas, you know, Dirk was a big international guy because he came from overseas, but nobody ever talked about how, you know, Dirk's competitive edge. You know, they always talked about his skill level.
Yeah, and you know what else got me upset? People always try to say that he led that team in 2011 to the chip alone. That was not a lone chip. Jason Terry, Jason Kidd, Sean Marion, Tyson Chandler, they were all peak in that chip.
I could agree with that. Tyson Chandler most specifically. Yeah, Jason Kidd, I don't know about peak Jason Kidd.
Jason Kidd, oh yeah, it's not peak Jason Kidd. But as a veteran, the threes that man hit in crunch time, and Jason Terry was on another level.
Jason Terry was playing like a man possessed.
He was so consistent, it was like Steph Curry-esque.
Well, Yeah, whoa. That's a little bit of an over-exaggeration, but I will agree. He was hitting the shots.
But I only compared it to him because technically that is the greatest shooter in the world, right?
Right now, absolutely.
So when I looked at Jason Terry in that finals and he was chefing up LeBron and pulling in his face, I said, okay, he's looking like the best shooter in the world right now.
So if you look back at that, right? So Jason Terry did that in that whole series, right? Chefing up LeBron, doing his thing. Now, did LeBron get back at him when he put them on that poster when he was part of the Celtics?
That was exactly why he did that.
You think that's what it was?
Jason Terry talked so much shit after that finals about him beating LeBron and how LeBron looked lost. And remember, he got that tattoo of him with the championship, if you remember, ahead of time, before they won.
Oh, I do remember that.
He got a tattoo stating that they were the champs that year because he felt. And honestly, I just read an interview a few weeks back where Jason Terry was talking about it again, how he felt like he took LeBron's heart in that finals.
I don't know anybody that's ever taken LeBron's heart. I mean,
I could make an excuse.
And that was the best he could do.
I could make a few entries in there. I could say Kawhi Leonard and Kevin Durant.
You think Kevin Durant has taken his heart?
When he was playing for Golden State, yes.
I don't know about that. Kevin Durant had to go to Golden State to win a championship.
Not true. And let's be real. The only reason he did it is because he low-key looks up to LeBron.
Yeah.
Once LeBron did what he did by going to Miami, going back to Cleveland, blah, 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 he was like, okay, cool. We could just move places now.
Yeah. I agree wholeheartedly that Kevin Durant's move was smart on his part.
I don't disagree. Look,
people say that it will tarnish his legacy.
Nah.
He went there to create a legacy. What do you mean?
Right, because he could have been another guy without a ring.
Yeah, he could be another Karl Malone, another Charles Barkley. He could be one of the greatest of all time to never win, and that would always be an asterisk next to him. However, now he's an NBA champion.
Let's be real. The only reason we give LeBron a pass is because he won that ring in Cleveland.
I don't know. I still give him credit for the rings in Miami.
Well,
because prior to that, the only people that had rings were Ray Allen and Dwayne Wade. I mean, if you want to give it to the rest of the people like Udonis Haslem.
Or Bosh.
But Bosh didn't have a ring before that.
Oh, yeah, but not before. He needed them.
That's what I mean.
Bosh was actually... He took a step back to let them do them.
Exactly.
Bosh could have continued to be
a... saw in Kevin Love in
right.
Cleveland.
And honestly, I love Kevin Love, and I feel bad for him. I feel bad for him.
I feel bad for him.
I don't want him to be in Cleveland no more, man.
I just think Cleveland is struggling because they never had the infrastructure and the people in that community to build. And I mean, like, I love John Millan. He's a great coach. I think he's phenomenal. But I mean, he was never going to succeed in that position. A lot of people don't. I mean, David Black, he was one of the best coaches in the moment. Did not succeed with LeBron and that whole system.
Because he's international, and it was like, who is this guy?
It's a hard place to coach, is what it is. Just like your New York Knicks.
You know what's funny? I realized, too, that when I started to invite guests, that y'all were all going to mention the Knicks.
Well, you know that's going to happen. However...
I'm prepared.
I think that the Knicks have hit their lowest point and are now going to be coming on the rise.
Mike, we didn't hit our lowest point several times.
But I'm telling you, it wasn't this season. It's because the Knicks were bad, but the Knicks weren't that bad. The Knicks have some pieces in their squad right now, both as trading pieces and as keepers, that will help them become the team that they're going to be in the next couple of years. It will not probably, unless something drastic happens, will not happen in the next 2 to 3. But in the next 4 to 5 years, I'm telling you right now, they're going to be a problem.
I believe it. I'm a Knicks fan.
I mean, of course you're a Knicks fan. You want to be optimistic. But as somebody who's not a Knicks fan and just a lover of the game of basketball, I mean, how many people want to play in the mecca of basketball?
You know what's true? If the Knicks are winning, NBA is much more fun.
It is. It's just it's an all-around thing. And the
'Cause
culture
now-
of New York City in basketball, man.
It's an anomaly. At that point, you're like, yo, if the Knicks could win something, that would change the course of history.
I want them to be competitive in a playoff run. They don't need to win a championship. They just need to be competitive.
Truly. This is why I feel like Melo is going to be a Hall of Famer. Eddie's going to be loved by the Knicks forever.
Melo is a Hall of Famer right now, bro. Like, let's be honest.
You know what, though? I feel like people haven't really paid attention to how he could play the game that they wanted him to play if you just told him. Portland did that.
Yeah.
Portland didn't give him a false facade. They told him, hey, man, you need to be a role player. And he did his role. People can't tell me Melo ain't playing his role in Portland.
Well, Melo's doing his thing right now in Portland.
Portland is only losing because, honestly, they need Nurkic.
They do. They need him back. They need a solid post presence. And I think that they're a top, probably 3 team in the West if they have them.
True, and people front on the fact that Whiteside actually leads the league in blocks.
That's true.
Whiteside
I don't think that Hassan Whiteside is the caliber of big man that Nurkic is.
No, he needs to come off the bench.
Hassan Whiteside definitely needs to come off the bench. I think he's better than, let's say, a JaVale McGee.
Right.
As a post player, I think that he needs to be getting, 20 to 25 minutes a game.
Honestly, JaVale McGee would have been great in the 80s or 90s.
That's the starting lineup that I think they should play. It's Hassan Whiteside at the 4. You play Nurkic at the 5. You give Melo the 3, and then you got Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum at the 1 and 2.
Are you a fan of small ball?
I mean, I like small ball, but at the same time, if you have those 5 people on the floor at the same time, you have probably the most deadly people on the floor in each respective position.
True.
I mean, Hassan Whiteside is a solid 4 or 5.
But
he's not going to stretch the floor and hit the deep.
That's the problem.
But Nurkic can.
He can. But that's the thing. Like, if you have 2
when
7-footers,
Denver went out with that injury, and Nurkic had to step up. Denver didn't miss a beat a couple years ago when that happened.
You know what's weird? I would love the idea of Melo coming back to New York.
Well, New York still loves Melo. Like,
he got edged out on some bullshit.
I can agree.
There was no reason that we were supposed to not have Melo on our roster the last few years. And honestly, I have a bunch of resentment towards Phil Jackson for it.
I don't know if we can ever blame Phil Jackson for that, because I think it has a lot more to do than just Phil. Well,
first of all, the main person I hate is James Dolan.
Yes, I can agree with that.
Dolan is a terrible owner. But at the same time,
I agree.
Phil had an opportunity to change the culture in New York, and he did a lot of nonsense. He tried to get Lamar Odom on the team. He told LaMarcus Aldridge he has to play the 5. It was just like, what are you doing? And he tried to make us play the triangle.
In today's times, the triangle will not do. Not if you're going to win against.
He forced it. Remember, he completely was like, Derek Fisher's our coach. Couldn't get Steve Kerr, even though I don't like Steve Kerr. I don't think that was another hot take I had in the past. I don't think Steve Kerr's a good coach. You think Steve Kerr's a good coach?
I do. I think that he's a good coach in the right respect.
Alright, I'm saying if you take him, right, and put him on a shitty team, like look at what Luke Walton is dealing with in Sacramento. It's starting to show that he might not be as capable as a head coach. Good as an assistant, but head coach, might be a stretch.
I think the way that he communicates with his players, that day in and day out, he gets the most out of Steph Curry. And day in and day out, he got the most out of all those guys that were crucial pieces. He got the most out of, Andre Iguodala and, all those other guys.
But you got to think about it. If you don't think if Mark Jackson had one more year, he could have did that?
I think Lamar Jackson is on the downslide of his career at that point. Like, he had done the stuff with Michael Jordan. He had done the stuff with Kobe. He had done all that other stuff. But he didn't have the same players that he needed to do what he has done historically in New York.
I mean, it's tough, man. I mean, but at the same time, New York was not a bad team. We had an opportunity. The East is nasty. The East is garbage. It's up for grabs. Once LeBron left, it's up for grabs.
I don't know anymore. I mean, LeBron went to the West, and he only didn't make the playoffs in 1 year. He definitely want to make the playoffs this year. No doubt about it. He had a little bit more help this year. I can agree with that. But, I mean, everybody says, oh, the West is great. The West is great. I don't think you're talking. People don't know what they're talking about. The East is just as competitive. However, there are more superstars in the West.
But I'm thinking, when I look back at the records, right? When I look at the standings, the West, there's a fight for the 8th seed with the 9th, the 10th, and the 11th seed just for one spot. When you look in the East and you look at those 9th, 10th, and 11th seeds, they're way behind.
I mean, the overall of the conference and the East and the West might be a little bit deeper just because they have that conference. Like, who's fighting for the 8th spot is a little bit more clear in the East and not so clear in the West. Doesn't make it an overall better league. Doesn't make it an overall better conference.
All right, I got one more question for you. Yeah. Was you in agreement with the 1 through 16 seeding for East and West?
I don't even know what the 1 through 16 seeding was.
They were basically saying to combine conferences and the best 16 teams get into the playoffs.
I'm not really sure. I mean, I think that if you take the top 16 teams, you're going to have, I mean, strictly record speaking, that's tough because you got to go against like strength of schedule, that kind of thing, like your wins against top teams. Because I mean, the people that play the Lakers 4 different times, you know, in the West are going to have a little bit harder of a schedule than the people who are playing, you know, not, forgive me, but New York 4 times.
That's the truth.
Or Atlanta 4 times.
But let's be real. Who's creating these schedules?
That's true.
Because the fact
the
that
league's supposed to be doing that.
I felt like they were almost trying to push Zion to be the Rookie of the Year by giving Pelicans an easier schedule than Memphis.
I don't know about all that. I think that there's beyond a shadow of a doubt, Ja Morant is the Rookie of the Year.
True, but you know what? I'm one of those Zion people.
I mean, I like Zion. I'm a big Zion fan. I'm glad that he's doing well so far that he's played the season. But Ja Morant is just a different type of human being.
Well, all I would say was, for the Rookie of the Year candidate, if the Pelicans or Memphis got that 8th spot, that's who I'm giving the Rookie of the Year to. That's how I felt. I'm like, if you could push one of those teams, because nobody said one of them was going to make the playoffs. So if one of them do, that's who you give that spot to.
Well, I'm telling you, if the season ends right now, Memphis Grizzlies make that spot.
Right, and he gets that Rookie of the Year automatically.
I don't know if you can go based on that, because I mean, Trailblazers are still one game or a couple games outside of that playoff spot.
But you got to think about politics.
Pelicans
That's what they do.
them.
They be basing shit based on win percentage and how detrimental you are to the team and what you did to will the team. And the way they was running with the Zion news on ESPN, they was basically trying to give him the race. Like, bro, did you forget what Ja Morant did?
Or has continued to do?
Right, because no one was talking about Memphis. I didn't catch one person as a commentator saying, "Oh, Memphis is going to be good."
As always, a lot of new music this evening.
Yo, that was the evidence.
That's true.
Just played, right?
Yeah, I don't need love.
But Memphis has put themselves in a great spot because of their youth. The guys that they brought in they're tough.
And think about that narrative. They always try to say, "Oh, these teams are young, or they don't have enough veterans," but
and they're this good while they're that young.
You got to give them
impressive.
credit when credit is due, because if that was the case, Atlanta could have did it, but they didn't.
Exactly.
But I respect it, though.
That fight last year between Trae Young and Luka Doncic for Rookie of the Year. That was a good fight. Luka still won it.
But I felt like, come on. When Luka came into the league already ready, he deserved it from the jump.
I mean, Trae Young was already ready.
But he was more consistent in the second half of the season.
I don't know. I think Trae Young was a better second half of the season player than Luka.
He was.
Luka did it all year long.
But that's why you got to give it to him. If you're consistent at doing something over and over again for 82 games, you deserve that award. But what I don't like,
why Ja Morant is this year's Rookie of the Year.
What I don't like is the fact that why haven't they given out more co-MVPs or co-Rookie of the Year awards?
I just feel like that's more of an easy way out.
But why can't two people be deserving of something?
I mean, two people could definitely be deserving of something, but then we're just giving out participation trophies to people. Oh, just, you did a great job too, but so did you, so we're going to give you both the same award. That just doesn't make sense to me. So there has to be a winner and there has to be a loser. It's the way that it works. You're
right. And that's why even as a child, they try to teach you that. And that's why I don't like participation trophies in the first place. Because if you're going to keep...
You don't get anything if you lose out on a job.
That's what I'm saying. Keep that same energy through all levels. Don't just allow the kids to get those trophies, and then when they get to the NBA, they're like, oh, what? I can't get that? It's like, nah, bro, this is how it's been from the jump. It got to be one way or change the system.
That's true.
It's real. But look, Mike, I know me and you, we could go all day.
We could talk about basketball all day, man. You know how this goes.
True, but this is the thing. One thing I definitely want to do is I want to have you back, and on top of that, I want to make sure that, you know, after quarantine, we have to link up in person, man. It's been too long.
I agree. I agree 100%. I do believe that we are trying to schedule a game at SUNY Purchase next year down in the city.
Okay.
Or just outside. I think Purchase is just outside the city.
Listen, though, I'm not going to let something as small as location slow me down from doing something. And I need to be driving as well. So I plan on putting my foot forward and making that happen so that something as small as location doesn't mean anything to me.
I love that.
Right, because I feel like it's the quarantine has opened my eyes more so to the fact that, you know, before this, I was just trying to be in my own bubble, but having a certain amount of people around you or a circle or keeping a constant connection with certain people matters more.
Absolutely.
So that's exactly why, even with this podcast, I'm doing this more so just so that I always have a way to stay connected with people, because we could do this all day.
We could absolutely do this all day. No doubt in my mind.
Well, Mike, listen, I'm definitely, we'll do this another time. I have the Basketball Vibes podcast. I got to have you on there so we could go full out basketball opinions all day. I also have the segment on there, What's Your Opinion? We could go crazy with that.
I mean, I am down to do all of that.
Listen, we definitely going to make it happen. I'm glad that you were a guest and you provided such great content, man.
Hey, I do what I can for the people that need it the most.
All right, man. Appreciate it again, and we definitely going to talk again soon, brother.
Absolutely. I appreciate you reaching out to me, man.
Of course. Stay safe, man.
Same to you. Stay safe. Stay healthy.
All right, brother. Another great conversation with my brother, Michael Busby. The greatest boss ever. Alright, I had to save the best for last. My cousin, Xavier. I call him the X on some DMX shit. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the Cuzzo, Xavier. I was calling him the X earlier. What's going on, man?
Hey, man. How you doing, man? Thanks for having me.
Listen, we're glad to have you on here. I know you've been listening in the past we've been having some discussions, but I felt like I had to have you on this episode because I've been asking the people different questions during their time of quarantine, man.
Yeah, man, this is a crazy time right now in America, man. I don't know how we're doing it, but we doing what we got to do, man.
I think it's most funny at the fact that we're younger and like we look at our parents and other siblings that are older that they've been through certain things, but we've all never been through this together.
Absolutely. I feel like this is going back to 9/11. You know what I'm saying? And
it's the only other time we could really reference when something crazy went down and we was all alive.
Exactly. It's crazy, man. But, you know, during that time, the city came together, the country came together, and they took care of business. And, you know, here we are now going through the same thing. But I know we're going to stand tall. We're gonna fight this.
Yeah, man. And you know what's funny, too? One of my other friends, he mentioned during this episode how you've got to see how certain people you've dealt with, or even on social media, like people being home, they get weird.
It's, I don't know, man, but I gotta say I do like what social media is doing and TikTok and all these challenges.
It's real entertaining.
Debates. Definitely, absolutely. You know, the picking of the houses, you know, all this stuff. Yeah, you hear the sirens in the background. It's still crazy, but, you know, we're pulling through. We're getting through this.
Yeah, it's definitely like it's one of the main things that's been keeping me going during this quarantine. What's some of the things that's been really like real influential to you during this time? What's been keeping you going?
Well, video games, man. I've been playing a lot of COD. I've been playing a lot of, well, for those of you that don't know about COD, it's Call of Duty. Because, you know, you got to be specific.
Yeah, and you got to shout out the gamer tag, too. Put it out there.
Of course. You know what? That's facts, bro. So it's a capital T and then hats, right? And then capital FAX is last name, middle name, first name, and then bro. So that's facts, bro.
Yeah, man. And I be seeing you, too. I'm not going to lie. I see you on the 2K as well. What player you got on 2K? What position you play?
I play the 3. I play a finisher. I'm a slashing defender. I be playing with Brandino J. Shout out to Brandino J real quick.
Yeah, that's the brother. He also supports the pod.
That's right. He also be playing COD with me as well. Also Jay, shout out to Jay too. It's my guy. But yeah, we play those games. You know, I'm doing work for my job.
Are you still working out here?
Talking to Pop. Yeah, man, they got me on the lockdown, but it's crazy, man. Working with kids virtually, it's a different experience.
Oh yeah, I gotta ask you, how has that been? I didn't even know you was working with kids, man. That's gotta be a little hectic because I don't even like kids.
Let me tell you something, man. The kids are the future, man. And,
true.
You know, what they do now is what they can dictate, you know, how their future shapes up, you know, and, you know, I try my best to connect with the kids, you know, like the way, you know, we used to connect, you know, with your brother and your sister and your cousin, you know. I try to make sure that the kids know what's up and understand that there's more to life, even, you know, at their age. But, you know, it's so simple, so they got some learning up to do, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, man, that's very important, man. I'm glad that you're doing that work because that is essential.
It is. It's just as crazy, you know what I'm saying, that, you know, I would be considered to be essential, you know what I'm saying? But I'm glad you brought up the word essential because I wanted to make a quick shout out to all of the essential workers out there.
Oh, of course,
no matter what you're doing, keep doing what you do.
Get the air horns on that one.
Definitely, man. Shout out to everybody, you know what I'm saying, doing what they gotta do.
The crazy thing was, I was an essential worker. Like, I am I'm considered an essential worker, but I couldn't continue to do my job because I have respiratory issues.
Oh, Okay, so how are you holding up?
Well, I mean, I've been collecting unemployment now in the meantime, but I haven't lost my job. So the minute things are back to normal, I can get back to doing my job at a normal rate, because I'm working for Whole Foods as a delivery man. So I felt like it was cool because I was helping a lot of old people, but at the same time, I couldn't put myself at that high of a risk. I don't have that option. Especially with the springs.
Right.
Look, the main thing with me is my allergies is what causes my asthma. So the fact that we're in spring, which is when I've gone to the hospital every May for 5 years straight from like 2005 to 2010. And then it slowed down with my asthma. But as long as I have allergy medicine, I don't get as sick with my breathing. But the fact that there's a virus out there, I got to be extra cautious.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, man. My folks, they got it mild, and luckily, you know, God was looking over them, and they was able to feel better. Now they're basically 100%. You know, my mom's moving and she's grooving, doing what she got to do. She's working from home as well too.
That's good. That's amazing. I'm glad she's all right. I'm glad the whole family is good.
Yeah, man, we gotta just keep praying. You know, this thing I keep fighting. It's a Flores thing. It's a family thing. You know what I'm saying?
I have said though in the past that the coronavirus is probably the worst thing that ever happened to us. The only reason I have that take is because it put a pause in our daily lives as far as like constantly working and being focused on an agenda, and now it was just about staying home, being with your family, spending more time, you know, just embracing life. It's given me an opportunity to reach out to people that I haven't spoke to in years.
Yeah. You know what? It's crazy because, you know, I'm joking about this, but, you know, a couple of females that I used to talk to, it's funny. Whenever we go through an epidemic, it's like you hear from people, like you said, that you never thought you would hear from again, even people you used to talk to, or, you know, friends from high school.
Yeah, I've heard from people that never spoke to me a day in my life.
It's crazy that during these times, that's when we start reaching out. So, you know, you get messages like, you know, hey, how you holding up? You know what I'm saying? I hope all is well, you know, and then you get the texts like, you know, oh, I still don't care about you, but, you know, I hope you're well. And you're like, wait a minute, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on now.
One question I've posed to everybody that's been a part of this, I've asked them, what is the first thing you plan on doing once the quarantine is over?
This is the golden question. I'm pretty sure a lot of the guys said getting haircuts. That's definitely the number one.
Oh, you know what's
choice.
funny?
I know that for sure.
You're the first person to say that.
Really?
True.
Wow, this
And it's
is
funny.
incredible.
I wasn't even thinking about that. When I thought about it, I wanted to just play basketball. I just want to be able to go outside and play basketball.
I'm surprised. Well, for you, I understand because, you know, you're an athlete.
Well,
you know, just like
honestly,
you know, it
on
runs
top
in
of
the
that,
family,
I've been growing my hair out for like plenty of years now. And, you know, it stopped being a matter of caring. I mean, it's mostly just because I have my girl and I know she's loved me for years. So I have a consistency where I'm like, you know what? If she loves the fact that I could do this, then I'm good.
Absolutely. And you know what's crazy? I just want to say this to the audience real quick. Listen, I've seen him growing out his hair. It is ridiculous, but in a great way, in a loving way. I mean, you know, and the patch too, it's like the whiz combination. It just matches him.
Let's be
You know
real.
what I'm saying?
It mostly
Personality
worked
and
because
stuff.
I have the half Puerto Rican blood running through me. My shit ain't nappy.
Absolutely. No. My shit is nappy. As a matter of fact, I just took a shower earlier. My hair is all curled up. I'm looking like Lionel Richie.
Everybody, you know what's the funniest shit to me? Before
What's
the
up?
quarantine, right? I went to the park with the full bearded hair out, and these kids was like, "Yo, what's up, OG?" And I was like, oh, gee. And then they kept comparing me to Uncle Drew, not Kyrie Irving, Uncle Drew. And I was like, damn, am I getting that old? The kids think I'm 40, man.
It's crazy, man. You know you can know when you get up out of bed, your knees click clack like Uncle Drew. You're like, oh.
Look, the
my
truth
back,
is,
let me get some Tylenol.
cuz how old are you now?
I'm 23.
All right, you're 23. Let me ask you now: have you been feeling any of the pains that you didn't feel as a teenager?
Man. I'm glad you asked.
28 stab wounds.
Freaking sir.
Listen,
This is crazy.
What's crazy is we're supposed to be in our prime right now, right? Now, I have this idea of believing that we're in our prime till we're at least 30. So I think I got 5 more years. You would have 7. Do you believe that?
So I still got time. I feel like let me see. I feel like Dwayne Wade after 06. You know, like I feel like my time is now.
Yeah, it's like, listen, you're not gonna do, you know, the right amount of athlete you have to use in your body without getting hurt.
Absolutely. And what's helping me stay active is softball.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, is it baseball that has your heart right now?
Baseball is number 1, but this is going to be a big spoiler alert.
What's up?
Basketball is a solid 1B. It is a solid 1B for me.
I honestly think it's more popular than any other sport in the world, but some statistics will deny that.
I think that popularity-wise, I think the National Basketball Association is number 1.
I felt that way since I was born. Like, you know what? Basketball is the greatest. Because honestly, there's not one place I've been where every single race is involved in the sport and we're all playing together. I don't see one other sport that has every single race involved.
Understandable, but I do want to give baseball credit. And I'm going to tell you why. We had just recently crowned a World Series champion. Never won the championship in their franchise's history. Now, quick history lesson real quick for you young
Hit me
fans.
with it.
The Washington Nationals were formerly known as the Montreal Expos. They used to play in Canada, Quebec to be exact, if you will. After 2004-05, they moved to Washington and became the Nationals. And ever since then, they've had losing seasons up until, I say, 2012-2013. And it's funny because the city of Washington got to see both the Wizards and the Nationals in playoff contention. So when John Wall was on the rise, the Nationals were on the rise too, so they kind of came up together. So I would say maybe the year Paul Pierce had gotten traded, I believe, from, I forgot what team he was on, but he went to the Wizards that year.
Yeah, he got traded from Brooklyn.
There you go. He got traded from Brooklyn. Thank you. That was the same year the Nationals kind of started to get their ish together and started to become a playoff contending team. The last year when they won the championship. So
I was gonna say, you try not to curse. This is the most explicit podcast out here.
You know what's crazy is that, like, I hear you guys cursing too, and it's like I want to hold back, and it's like, because I have another, uncut Xavier, but I'm gonna try to keep the PG as much as I can.
Hey, I appreciate it. Look, one thing I've tried to do is I've tried to expand my vocabulary while doing the podcast, because I felt like I can't just be saying nigga every time. Like, and if you realize when you walk outside and you listen to people in the streets, they'll use the N-word 600 times to explain their point. And it's like, there's other words out there. So I've tried to plus the fact that I've spoken to people about the fact I went to college. I can't not show them that I have a vocabulary.
Exactly. And it's crazy because, like, the N-word is kind of like the most used slang word in the city alone. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter what race, ethnicity you are. You're calling somebody a nigga. You know what I'm saying? It's
True.
either
You know what I wanted to ask you
man.
too? Have you ever been around a white person who looks for your acceptance to say the word?
Yes. And I have a good friend of mine. I'm not going to reveal who he is, but he is white.
But have you let them use the word?
Yes. I let them use the word.
And that's what I wanted to point it out. The fact that we do give that pass to people we trust.
Absolutely. I'm glad you said that.
That's real shit. Black people and Spanish people align when it comes to who we allow to say the word. Because you got to think about it. With anybody, well, first of all, Puerto Rican people, we know we all black at the end of the day. But Dominican people have a way of trying to distance themselves from us. And we have to tell them, hey man, we all the same. Like, we black, bro. You see your skin, you see mine. We the same, bro.
And he's a really cool dude, man. He's, shown me, the Brooklyn Nets in a whole different light. He's a diehard Brooklyn Nets fan.
That's hard for me to accept.
Goes to Barclays Center. Yeah, exactly. And like I said, he's a great kid, and he's shown me, different views of the Brooklyn Nets. And, I got to meet some of the players and things of that nature. I'm gonna send you the pics, but I have pictures with some of the Brooklyn Nets players. The recent one, that I can think of is a picture of me and Brook Lopez. And
I like Brook Lopez. He's cool.
Brook Lopez is the tallest dude I've seen up to, my existence in life, and I don't understand how he shoots threes like he's Steph Curry. I don't understand it, bro.
Well, you got to think about it. They're taller, and when they jump, they're kind of looking down at the rim.
It's just weird the way how Brook has been able to still maintain his game, his offensive game throughout his career.
Very underrated, by the way.
Underrated, man. That guy, I wish the Nets would have kept him, man. I just wish that they would have just gave him the max.
I was confused on why they let him go.
You're just as confused as them letting him go as the Nets letting go of D'Angelo Russell.
Well, I'm also a Knicks fan, so I have to go through confusion over and over again throughout my entire life.
Because you already know how we are with the Knicks. It's been very troubling times, here in the city, and I don't know what to say about the franchise anymore, man. I honestly don't. I don't know what to say.
Listen, do you think the Knicks will be contenders within the next 5 years?
It's hard for me to say. I've been hearing rumors about Leon Rose supposedly being this, godly, former sports agent.
We'll
and,
see.
He's got people skills and relationship skills. Yeah, we said that about Phil. We said that about, David Fizdale.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man.
Listen, one thing I do agree with Leon Rose saying is we need to get Julius Randle out of there. He's not a franchise player. He's a side piece. He doesn't realize it yet.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the franchise piece is Mitchell Robinson.
Let's be real. Yeah, exactly. And what I was going to say was, if you look at Julius Randle, he should have honestly never left the Lakers.
I don't think so neither. And you know what? Honestly speaking, I can still see him playing with the Pelicans. You know what I'm saying? I can see the Knicks trading him right back to the Pelicans.
I just felt like if he was with LA, with Braun could have helped him excel as a player rather than him trying to figure out his own thing. Like, Braun could have made him way better as an asset.
I think so too. Because you know what? LeBron at this stage of his career, I mean, the man ain't got to prove anything more. I've come to accept it. The man is, one of the greatest I've ever seen. You know what I'm saying? And out of the 2010s, if you will, he's... And the man's a walking
legend. You know what I'm saying? He could retire right now, and he's automatically in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah, of course. The only thing I will say is, from what I've seen, Jordan stopped people from winning championships, right?
Correct.
And Kobe somewhat did, but he let the Pistons squeak by, and he let San Antonio also eat. But LeBron has allowed a lot of other people to step in and still excel while him also being great. He never really slowed teams down from winning. Like, he slowed the East down, but he didn't slow a lot of West. I feel like that's why he went to the West in the first place.
And it's funny that you bring that up because, I know the whole LeBron versus the East, and it's always been like that for years. And you know what? I couldn't stand those years where it's literally LeBron versus the East, because I would like to see different teams come out of the East.
True.
And when he left for LA, I was happy because now we can see some balance in the East. I understand that the bottom feeders are not, as good as the top feeders, but you get the idea. The top feeders are, you got Milwaukee, you got Boston, you got Philly, you got Toronto, you got, these great teams, hidden because of the LeBron years.
True. And
now they're able to, fly and, blossom, and the East got some great young talent, man. I'm excited to see the East in the next couple of years.
The East could be really fun. Like, the NBA is much more fun when teams in the East are actually thriving.
So, I gotta pose a question to you.
Hit me with it.
I know you have heard the rumblings about Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell.
I'm glad you asked.
You know exactly where I'm going with this.
I'm waiting for it.
Do you think that the Knicks should trade for either Rudy Gobert or Donovan Mitchell?
In my heart, I want Donovan Mitchell on the Knicks. I know for a fact Mitchell Robinson is the future if we keep him. So I would love for us to figure out a way to trade for Donovan Mitchell. Because honestly, I don't think anybody in their right mind wants to spend time in Utah. That's the truth. Utah is fucking boring. So I'm like, if you want to leave, bro, New York is lit.
My thing is that will Mitchell be able to play under the bright lights? Because you know what they say about New York City.
My thing is, if
you win here, you're a legend.
Exactly. And I was telling my friend before, Mike, I was telling him that Melo just getting us to the playoffs and actually almost pushing us to the point where we thought we was going to win is going to make him a Knicks legend and a Hall of Famer regardless of the time when he retires.
I agree. And I love Melo just as much as you do. One of the most, greatest scorers, of all time. You know what I'm saying? A mid-range killer. I mean, the post was insane. I mean, the steps. I was just looking at a mixtape of him earlier, and damn, like, I know you remember this game. Remember the game? He hit 2 clutch threes against the Bulls in the Garden that the Knicks won by like.
Of course, I watched that live, and I was fucking losing my mind.
Me and you too, man. It was one of the greatest Knicks games I've ever seen. That one and the night where Jeremy Lin went off against the late great Kobe Bryant.
I'm not gonna lie though. The fact that you mentioned Jeremy Lin, it almost got me heated. I felt like Jeremy Lin exceeding with the Knicks was such a low point for us that people had actual Lin sanity. It blew my mind. What the fuck is wrong with people? I hated it.
I was on the bandwagon.
I hated Lin sanity.
I was on the bandwagon, but you know what? I just want people to know. Listen, I've been with the Knicks since '09. I've seen the team since '06, '07, if you want to be technical. So I'm talking Stephon, Tracy McGrady, Steve Francis era.
Bro.
Okay, that's
what
how
I was going to say. I've been
I've
watching the Knicks since we had Latrell Sprewell.
Yeah, look at that. See, and you got, LJ, late, LJ
Fucking
career years.
Terrible years of Knicks, and I still question
Eddie Curry.
sometimes why I went, especially Eddie Curry. I wonder why I went through this shit. That's exactly why I told my mans beforehand. I said, look, when I watched the Celtics in 08 win a championship, I felt so fucking excited because I felt like I watched them win that chip all the way through. People was doubting the Celtics throughout 2008. And I was like, yo, bro, they got Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, and Kevin Garnett. They're going to win.
Future Hall of Famers.
Well, KG is coming up. And isn't Ray Allen in there already?
Ray Allen is in there. Paul Pierce is in there. Obviously, Rondo's still playing. And then KG is coming up.
I've mentioned it in the past, too. Look, with Kobe passing, I had to mention the fact that growing up, that was actually the first player that inspired me to want to play the sport.
And you know what? I can see that. Because you know what? I mean, Kobe wasn't, one of my favorite players. We like who we like. But game recognizes game. And, the day, of Kobe's passing, when I found out, it was incredible. It was through a chat. And my friends was like, did you hear the news? I was like, what's going on? They said Kobe had passed away. I was like, don't play me like that. You know what I'm saying? And then, you look at the news and read the articles, and it was true. My heart stopped. It was like the world stopped. And, just looking at the different pictures and the highlight tapes and the tributes, it was amazing. And, to someone who lost their life at such a young age, it's sad, man. You know what I'm saying? And I feel for his daughters and his wife, and, wish them nothing but the best still. But it was a crazy time, finding about Kobe's passing.
Bro, it's crazy because I honestly have a list of celebrities that, if they do pass, would actually hurt me. And Kobe is in that list. Like, I cried.
I don't blame you, cuz. I don't blame you. I almost cried too, man. And I automatically thought about his daughters. Like,
yeah,
what's
man.
going
It's
on?
like, bro, I wanted to... You know how much Gianna was going to have niggas invested in the WNBA? Like, the fact that Kobe's daughter was automatically... She was going to be in the WNBA. We wanted to see that.
And she had game.
We would have honestly been fully invested. Niggas would have bought her jerseys. Like, everything would have been amazing for her. But the fact that we won't get that...
I would definitely buy her jersey. Trust me.
It hurts. But, we want to stay on that positive note. What is something that you've been... matter of fact, as far as shows, forgot to ask you about your shows. I know you've been binge watching. Ain't nothing but shit to do but binge. This is my last question for you. What you been binging?
All right, so I've been binging a whole bunch of stuff. I just wrapped up Tiger King. Okay,
You just wrapped
I
up
know
Tiger?
everybody's
Fucking
just
Karen
wrapped it up.
Fucking Baskel? Come on now. Karen fucking
Karen
Baskin.
fucking Baskel. You get your ass together. Nah, but I just finished wrapping that up.
Let's be
I
real.
let-
She killed her husband, right?
She killed her husband.
She killed her husband. We all agree. Hazel. Carol killed her husband. Come on now. She's in agreement. Husband's been killed. Carol fucking
She killed
Baskin.
I don't know how to feel about Tiger King because it's like I don't know who to believe. You're like Carol's like, okay, Joe's messed up. Joe's like, Carol's messed up. Okay, cool. Now here comes Jeff. Jeff is saying Joe's messed up, and Joe's saying Jeff's messed up.
Well, honestly,
Like,
Doc
what's
Ansel
going
is
on?
fucked up too, but anybody that owns cats is fucked up. That's the truth.
It was absolutely. It was painful for me to watch. You know what I'm saying? Although they're adorable cubs, though. I gotta say this. I'm sorry.
I
They're
told
adorable.
people though, I'm not. I still, look. We black. We don't fuck with wild animals. I wouldn't do it. That's white people shit. That's white people lean.
Listen, that's Scarface 1980s. Okay, if y'all want to do that, y'all go ahead. You know what I'm saying? I got nothing but love for whites. But if y'all gonna be doing that, I'm gonna take the L.
And let's be real, the nigga that was Scarface was the most sane person in the whole damn documentary.
Isn't that crazy?
That's what's crazy. They always want to talk shit about other races, but white people be tripping. But
I don't know, man.
you know, I said one last question, but I got one more. This is the real shit. You think Joe
Listen,
deserved
you
to
can
be in
keep 'em
jail?
coming. Do I think Joe deserves to be in jail? You know, no. I don't think he deserves to be in jail. I think that Joe just needed a wake-up call. And
some therapy.
I think that and some therapy too. I think he needed this. And, you know, 22 years in prison, okay, you'll take that over 99, whatever years they wanted to give him more. You'll take that. But he's not gonna pass over 20 years. Come on.
Not at all. It's like at the end of the day, every one of those people are criminals. So if you want to throw Joe in jail, throw everybody in jail or get Joe the fuck out of jail. I'll take it.
It's crazy, man.
If
And everybody else is going
Tekashi
down
could get out early, then Joe Exotic could get out early. Let's get it.
Exactly.
I'm rooting for Joe, man.
I'm rooting for Joe too, man. And please, somebody put Tekashi back in jail, please. Can
Yeah,
we
that
not
man.
release him yet?
Look, honestly, he's very entertaining, but we don't need that right now.
No.
And I've never listened to his music, so I didn't care about the music part.
Me neither, cuz. Me neither.
But look, X, I've appreciated having you on this pod. I've been on this pod damn near almost 2 hours because I had such illustrious guests. As far as my father, shout outs to my college brother Wavy, and even my boss, ex-boss, and he's still an assistant coach, Mike, and now you, X. It's been so great to have all of y'all part of this, and I want to do this again very soon. Whether it's quarantine or not quarantine, we got to still do this. We got to do one more and keep it going.
Yes.
And let's
Thank you
be
for
real,
having me, man.
you gotta make sure that you get your future podcast off the ground as well, because I'm gonna be tuned in. We partners on this shit.
Soon, you know what? Soon. As you know what? I'll tell you what. As soon as quarantine is over, we will try to work together and let's see what's up. Because
because
wanna
look,
make
at the
this
same
into a
time,
reality.
whether you do some on YouTube or I do some on YouTube, like, we always gonna be a team, man. We family. I'm always gonna support what you do, and I'm glad that you support what I do. That's what we supposed to do for each other.
Exactly, man. I love you, man, and keep doing your thing. And shout out to your audience. Shout out to those guests as well. Thank you for having me, and I'll raise a toast to you.
Hey, man, I appreciate it. And listen, we're gonna do this again very soon. I'm glad to have you, and I'm glad that you provided such great content as well.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it, man. God bless.
Love you, bro.
Love you too, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's how I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna finish it up by telling y'all that, like, I didn't know I was gonna go at least a full 2 hours, but there's no way that I couldn't provide y'all with that content. Like, I had so much of a privilege of doing this episode, and
I hope that y'all enjoyed as well, man. I appreciate it. So is the hook. Quarantine edition. Shout out to Tory Lanez. Quarantine.